Welcome to Bird Camp Radio, where the coveys rise from the high pines, marsh valleys, sagebrush seas, and the shelf rock ledges. Here at camp, the fire's always glowing, the dogs are never far, and the stories of birds, wild places, and the upland life are just beginning. This is Bird Camp Radio. Before we get into today's episode, I want to thank a company Rachel and I personally trust, Pet Commute. We have worked with them several times ourselves, and I can tell you firsthand, they are reliable, safe, punctual, and they give frequent transport updates. That peace of mind matters, especially when it's your dog. If you're a breeder, buyer, trainer, running field dog trials, traveling to a hunt, or honestly just need to get a pet somewhere safely, Pet Commute is a perfect fit for bird dog folks. They offer free transportation quotes, and make sure to mention Bird Camp Radio to get 10% off your pet's travel. Check the link in the show notes, our social media bios, or the comments. I highly recommend them. Welcome back, everyone, to the Bird Camp Radio podcast. I'm your host, Kellen Golightly, and we're excited to be here for our 28th episode of Bird Camp. And we're actually making a little bit of history today. As you know, we got video now, so this is our 30th episode total, and we're bringing on the video, and now have a YouTube, so you'll be able to see everybody on the podcast. But today we have our special guest, Stephen Lochman. He sent in his bio just a little bit earlier, and I'm going to read that for us real quick. Stephen Lochman is from northern Berks County, Pennsylvania, located in the southeast corner of the state. He was brought up in a family steeped in hunting traditions. From an early age, he tagged along with his dad, uncles, grandfather, brother, and cousin in their pursuits of everything from squirrels and doves to turkeys and deer. The outings that involved chasing ruffed grouse are his favorites. Early on in his hunting career, he hunted anything that was legal to hunt. Now his focus is mainly deer, turkey, and upland birds, especially pheasants and ruffed grouse. In 2020, he harvested his first 2 ruffed grouse. 6 years, a new double-barrel shotgun, and countless miles later, ruffed grouse remain his favorite bird to chase. From his early experiences with his family teaching him the ways of the woods, he decided to pay it forward. 3 years ago, he volunteered with an organization called Learn to Hunt, and currently has 2 people under his wing. He has been teaching them how to be safe, ethical outdoorsmen. He has also volunteered with the PEA Game Commission and Ruffed Grouse Society to help with tree plantings in areas where they are doing grouse and woodcock habitat reclamation. Everybody, we're excited to have Stephen on. Stephen, how are you, buddy?
I am great. Happy to be on.
Hey, well, we're excited to have you on, man, and it's good to be able to see you and put a face to you and be able to talk. I think it's going to make it a lot easier now to be able to have a conversation with our guests.
For sure.
But as you know, and for everybody who likes listening to the podcast, and if you're new to the podcast, we like to play a quick game of rapid fire around the campfire with each one of our guests. This game consists of 10 questions, and we have a leaderboard, so it is timed. Each one of these questions is tailored to upland game. They can be answered in one single word since it is being timed. So if you don't have any questions, we'll just get it started.
Let's go for it.
All right, here we go. Favorite wild bird to chase?
Ruffed grouse.
Most challenging bird?
Ruffed grouse.
Favorite dog trait?
Loyalty.
Best bird for eating?
Ruffed grouse.
Go-to field snack?
Peanut butter crackers.
Dream hunting destination?
Maine.
Favorite month to hunt?
October.
Game bag or vest?
Both.
Solo hunt or with a group?
Solo.
Lead or steel shot?
Lead.
Hey, there we go, man. Hey, that's a pretty good time. I'm not going to release it yet. Everybody has to wait till the end of the podcast for this, but That's looking good. That's gonna mix some things up a little bit.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Hey. But there we go. So, like I said, we're excited to have you on and be able to have you share your story and get to know you a little bit and how you got into the upland game tradition and why you stick with that. And we're just excited and grateful for you and your willingness to come on. For
Yeah.
people who may be new to the podcast, um, what we like to do is really focus on the bio of each individual. So today, Stephen, we're just gonna you're gonna be an open book today, buddy.
Perfect.
Excited for it. So, kind of just jumping right into it. How did it all get started for you and your family? I mean, you talked a little bit about that in your bio, but how did it all get started? Why upland game?
Um, I'll start with how and why it all started. I'm from Southeast Pennsylvania. My family's history in that corner of the state goes back over 250 years. My One of my ancestors was one of the first people to settle what is now Hamburg, Pennsylvania, right along the Little Schuylkill River. We've been outdoorsmen our whole lives, going back to him all the way up to present day. Just about every man in my family is an outdoorsman. And like I said in my bio, I was brought up. I Some of my earliest memories are chasing squirrels or turkeys with my dad. I wasn't near old enough to carry a gun or have my own hunting license. He'd take me upstate to Bradford County every year for deer season. And our deer season back then started on Monday. So we'd go up after Thanksgiving, Friday usually, and we'd spend Friday afternoon and all day Saturday small game hunting. And the cabin that we used to go to, prime grouse habitat. So I'd walk behind my dad and my uncle while they're out trying to flush some of these birds, and I can remember two or three of them being harvested, and the rest were all, wild flushes and poor shots. But I was hooked. That the sound that bird makes when it takes off. I've heard guys say the same thing about a gobbling turkey, a big buck coming in to a grunt tube or something, and I completely understand all that. But for me, it's that sound that a grouse makes when they flush. That's what had me addicted at a young age. And I start so I didn't really start grouse hunting or upland hunting really until I was a teenager. My dad took me out pheasant hunting a lot. We don't have I know of two areas in the state where we have wild pheasants, and neither of them are huntable. So we were hunting stocked birds, not the brightest, but it was fun. Got a lot of shooting experience, and then from there, I kind of just I ran with it, and I wanted to hunt anything I could. You know, and it wasn't until around 2020 where I got heavily into ruffed grouse hunting. I actually shot my first grouse at the cabin that I used to go to with my dad and my uncle when I was a kid. So that was a cool experience. And like I said, from there it was just it was like an addiction. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I completely agree. So here in Utah, we get quite a few opportunities to hunt grouse. We typically hunt me and my family. We typically hunt the ruffed grouse and blue grouse typically. And seriously, man, they're bottle rockets out there.
Oh
those
yeah.
those ruffed
Oh
grouse,
yeah.
holy cow, they're insane. Like it's so different. You know when you're on a ruffed grouse and a blue grouse because there's a complete difference between the two of them. So it's a lot of fun being able to have that opportunity. Um, for you, I know we've had early on in the podcast, we had a guy from Pennsylvania, and he kind of talked about the terrain. So where you're at, I'm just curious of like what kind of terrain you're hunting. Are you hunting public, private? What do
So
you hunt?
it depends on what I'm hunting. If I'm hunting deer, I have a family friend that lets me hunt his farm. So if I'm hunting deer, it generally private, a little bit of public. Upland, it's strictly public. If I'm hunting for grouse, it's mountainous, rocky, thick. A lot of my grouse hunting I do. We have a camp upstate. I do a lot of my grouse hunting up there. So again, mountains, rocks, and thick brush. And I do all my upland hunting without a dog. I do it by myself. So I'm essentially doing two jobs at once. I'm the dog and I'm the hunter. So it it makes for a really nice challenge. And I've been asked a couple times, what you're going after these birds without a dog. They're hard enough to shoot with a dog, and you're trying to do it by yourself. It's the challenge. I love it, and
I love it, man.
I'm not nearly as successful as someone that has a dog. I'll freely admit that. But the birds I do get, I mean, you could ask my brother. I called him the one time because I actually had cell service, and I was jumping through the phone. He's like, I thought he knew I was grouse hunting, but he's like, I thought for sure you shot some monster buck up there the way you sounded.
That's awesome. I definitely can relate to that because right now me and my wife rent. I don't know if you knew that, but we can't have dogs right now. Renter
Okay.
won't let us do it. I've tried and tried to talk her into it, but it's not worth it. The neighbors upstairs are actually too worried about flies, so that's
Wow.
like the reasoning behind it that we got. So until we get a house, we're stuck hunting hunting ourselves, and I definitely can get that. It's a challenge, but I mean every bird you work for it. But at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time, when I do get the opportunity to get a dog, I will. But at the same time, I'm gonna miss these days because, like you said, like the challenge, the miles that you put in, and I mean you have to learn the habitat. Like
Yep.
you're like you said, you're doing the work for you and the dog. You are the dog in that position. So it's fun because I mean at the end of the day, you put in the grind, you put in the work, and any bird that you get, it's well worth it.
Oh yeah. 100%. And it really helps, at least in my case, because my brother, he's a big archery hunter, and he hunts kind of this similar areas where I grouse hunt. And if he sees something, he sees a good grouse habitat. He sees birds. He pins it on OnX, and I get a text. And actually, the last bird I shot, I got because of him.
Really?
He was hunting a timbered area with an old logging road cutting through it, and he's like, every time I go in and out of there, I'm kicking grouse up. I'm hearing them drumming in the thick stuff. There's food for them here, perfect cover. I was like, you know what? I got 2 hours to kill. I'll walk that logging road. On my way back to the car, sure enough, there's a grouse,
There it is.
and I
That's,
got him.
that's awesome, man. Putting in the work, putting in
Yep.
time for it. It's awesome. That's what's fun right now during this time of year is we do a lot of shed hunting right now. With I've gotten in trouble from a few people for saying the off season. I shouldn't say that because a lot of these guys are dog owners, and I get that there is no off season. But I mean, for the bird season, yes. But it's it's fun to go out and do that shed hunting. And right now the birds, they're going at it. I love that sound, them
Oh
drumming.
yeah.
So much
Yep.
fun.
I was
It's hard.
I was actually just up. I mentioned earlier I was just up at my camp upstate over the weekend doing turkey scouting and shed hunting, and I didn't find any sheds, but found some turkeys and I found a grouse spot for October. So
There you
a
go.
new grouse spot, I should say. So that's exciting.
See, that's what's kind of fun is like you said, you end up scouting for these things, but I end up actually scouting for the birds more than anything
Oh
else.
yeah, yeah,
It's
oh
for
yeah.
sure like I'm like I got so many pinpoints and waypoints on my Onyx for just going shed hunting. We may not even find a shed, but gosh dang, I found so many new spots that I wouldn't have had if it wasn't for that. So it's
I'm
awesome.
in I'm in my seventh or let's say seventh year of shed hunting, and I've yet to find anything.
Really,
Yeah,
it's I'll tell you, we are it's it's been a difficult year for us. My mom and stepdad, they do a lot of shed hunting. They're insane with it. They're so good. For us, like it's a struggle. I just barely this past week found my first like nice 4 point, and I'm like a set, and I'm like, heck yeah,
oh
let's do it.
wow, wow.
Wait, you know what? We'll bring it in, Rach. You want to go grab that? The set? Yeah, we'll hurry and bring that on just to show you.
Cool.
But yeah, man, that's awesome being able to. That's what we've been doing. Turkey scouting. I mean, that's starting up on May 4th for us, so it's been a lot of shed hunting and turkey scouting, a little bit of fly fishing on the side, just waiting for that bird season to start. So
Yep, yep.
there we go. You want to show them all for us?
Oh,
That's the best I've done. That's the
that's
best I've done.
those are from a mule deer, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Though that's a heck of a find, man.
Yeah, that's the best I've done. So for
It's
them,
better
it'd
than
be,
anything I've ever found, trust me.
but because you got a lot of whitetails over there.
Oh yeah, and where I was over the weekend, there's elk as well.
Oh, that's okay. I did not know.
Yeah, we have a small. Well, I won't, don't quote me on it, and I'm sure someone listening could probably give you the exact number, but it's up over 2,000 animals at this
Wow.
point.
Dang.
Yeah, they brought them, and again, it was the early 1900s. Don't quote me on the exact date, but they brought them from Montana to reintroduce them to their native ranges.
Wow. That is crazy, dude. I didn't even know that. I know when I think of elk, I always think of everything on this side of the Rocky Mountains, the west, but I always
Yeah.
forget that there's
Yep.
other populations out there,
If
It was kind of interesting because oh yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, if you look up like a historical distribution map of elk in North America, it's from coast to coast, pretty much.
Yeah, see, it's so weird. It's like weird. This is what's fun about doing the podcast is you start living outside of your bubble a little bit.
Hmm.
Just a few episodes ago, we had a guy on from Oregon, and he was talking about the Roosevelt elk, how they'll be out
Okay.
on the beach just bugling, and they're out there in the ocean. And I'm like, man,
That's
that's
not.
weird.
I've never heard of that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now I want to take a trip up there and just watch it. There's people that go just to see them. I'm like, dang, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
No, that's awesome, man. So when it comes to your guys' season, your bird season,
Yeah.
what does that look like for you? So I mean, you're doing a lot of rough grouse hunting, a little bit of pheasant, turkey. Like, what does that look like?
As far as what? Like,
Like season wise, how long are
oh,
you able to over there?
so, and they actually just changed. Our game commission just changed the small game and upland seasons that they open. like Ruffed Grouse, for instance. Ruffed Grouse opens October 17th this year, and it runs till December 24th. Past years, it's been open mid October for about a month, and then it closes, and then it opens for a week and a half after Christmas. I guess their biologists deem the population healthy enough to extend the season a little bit, which is great because, like I said before, I had 4 or 5 weeks to hunt them, and now I have just about 2 months, 2 full months.
There you go. Yeah, that's good to know. 'Cause I mean, I think the guy that we had on earlier from Pennsylvania, you guys have, I believe you talked a little bit about the Appalachians,
Hmm.
I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
so talking a little bit about like deforestation, stuff like that kind of going on. Like a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people are talking about like the population's kind of declining over there in the Midwest, the East. I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
There's definitely something to be said for that. The rough grouse is actually Pennsylvania's state bird,
Oh,
and
okay.
going back, this is hundreds of years, but the settlers in the state, their I don't want to say their diet consisted of just grouse, but that was a big part of their diet because there were so many of them. And during certain times of the year, and maybe you've experienced this, those birds are not very smart. I've had them come right up to me, and it was in early fall, maybe their mating season or something. But I kid you not, this it was on a biking trail. I was walking down to a river to do some smallmouth fishing, and he he walked right up to me, and I shoot him away, and he ran back to me like a dog. So, but that getting off on a tangent there, because they were so easy to hunt, they got overhunted, and just never came back to the numbers that they were. And now it's hit or miss. I'm definitely seeing more grouse in areas where I haven't seen them, in the past 2 decades. There's I guess it would be part of the Appalachians, but it's the Blue Mountain. It's right up where I'm from.
Okay.
I've hunted that my whole life, and it wasn't until maybe 7, 8 years ago where you were you didn't hear one or see one every time you went out, but it was consistent. You would hear them consistently. Whereas before they were gone. They were, there were some places upstate where they held out, but that was about it. And now with the habitat reclamation that the Game Commission's doing, and the forestry that they're doing, timbering and all that, from what I'm seeing, it's great, and it looks great for grouse. I actually One of my favorite places to hunt is it's a swamp, but they timbered part of the woods on the one side of it, and they put up fencing to keep the deer out, so that forest had a chance to regrow. And this past October, I hunted that, and I want to say I flushed 7 birds near those fences, and I hunt deer there. I go hiking there. I'm all over that swamp, and this past October was the first time I flushed that many in a couple hours. I flushed once. I flushed one the year before walking into my tree stand, but this past year, that the habitat there is just amazing.
Wow. No, that's good. That's good news because for the longest time, like, not saying you had a bad population over in your side of in your neck of the woods, but that's good to hear that you're seeing some progression there with with
Yeah,
those birds. That
and
that's good.
and that's just one set of eyes. I can't speak for everybody in Pennsylvania, but I'm definitely seeing more of them in more places, which is great.
That's awesome. So yeah, that makes sense because here I'm a little worried with what's going on with our water situation here in Utah. Now I mean, the past 2 years, I mean, we have not gotten much of a snowpack at all. I mean, I believe they say like roughly 95% of our water comes from the snowpack here in Utah.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's like insane, like crazy. And we just did not get it. Like looking up at our mountains right now, here where we're at, there's really nothing. I mean, there's a few spots when you get up there, but it's been a little rough the past 2 years. Last year we had great numbers with birds, but I feel like it definitely made an impact hunting this past year. And now with how bad it's been this year, I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen? So we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best.
Yeah, we're gonna see, and hopefully they can rebound, and hopefully we'll have sufficient water for everything. So we'll
Yeah.
see what ends up happening. All right, everyone. Quick shout out to our friends at Pet Commute. If you ever tried coordinating dog transport yourself, you know it's not simple. Whether it's a new pup coming home, a finished dog heading to a buyer, a field trial trip, or even, let's be honest, your wife needing her little mutt transported safely, Pet Commute handles it professionally. Rachel and I have personally transported with them, and I can confidently say they are reliable, safe, punctual, and they keep owners updated the entire trip. They offer free quotes, and if you mention Bird Camp Radio, you'll get 10% off your pet's travel. Hit the link in the show notes, comments, or our socials. No, but so another cool thing like that you're out there doing right now as we speak is your mentorship. So, I mean, learn to hunt, and you want to talk a little bit about that for us? What that's all about?
Yeah. They're an organization. I know they're based on the East Coast, but they cover multiple different states, and they get people who are interested in hunting in touch with people or someone that would want to help them out, mentor them, take them out hunting, take them to the shooting range, that kind of thing. So they kind of just act as the middleman. And what inspired that was my dad, my uncle, and my grandfather. My grandfather taught me how to shoot. He was military policeman in the mid 50s. But he taught me and my cousin and pretty sure my brother how to shoot, and what can happen if you mess around with a gun, that kind of thing. And something he said that always stuck with me, and I still use it with the people I'm mentoring. You pull the trigger on a gun, there's nothing you can do to get that back. You're not plucking that bullet out of midair. Whatever you pointed the gun at is going to go away. And he wasn't crude or anything like that, but he made it known. And if my cousin and my brother are listening to this, I'm sure they can picture the face. He said what he said, and then you got to look. And the look said more than the words. So he taught us how to shoot, and then God bless my dad and my uncle. I know my dad, he was taking me and my brother squirrel hunting, pheasant hunting, dove hunting, when, he could have been doing just about anything else. But he always made time to take us out. And same with my uncle. Probably the biggest deer hunter I know, but he always made a point of making time to take his own son out or letting me tag along to go chase squirrels or something. And I just wanted to pay it forward. I had three of the greatest teachers I think anybody could have had in the outdoors, and yeah, I wanted to help out other people because without family or a close friend that's into hunting, it can be very intimidating to get into by yourself. So I wanted to, you know, get rid of the intimidation factor. Let if people are interested in hunting, they can gladly come with me, and I will teach them everything they want to know and everything I know, short of giving up some of my best spots. But even at that, they I'll I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's been a great experience. One of the best in my hunting career is teaching these two and seeing
Man.
seeing how far they've come. The one is a woman. She I don't know that she ever fired a gun, but the amount that she's progressed in a little over a year is it's amazing. I mean, she with a rifle, she can just about outshoot me.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's
And the
awesome.
other the other guy, he's great. He's doing great. We haven't connected on anything substantial for either of them yet. Some small game critters here and there, but they're both really after deer, and I'm doing my best.
Dude, no, that's an awesome program. Utah's got something similar, like through our DWR, and they have a program where you can be like a mentor, like a mentorship program, and I think it's great. I mean, especially with the world that we live in today, I mean, it's hunting itself is threatened almost every day, if
Oh
not
yeah,
every day.
yep.
And so many people don't understand it. But it's funny because, like you said, like a lot of these people haven't had the opportunity or even done it. But you see a lot of these people who get into it and they're like, wow, I have a completely different perspective on it now. Like, I thought this and now it's this. And I respect it and have a completely different perspective and end up loving it. Like,
Yeah, yep.
and it's and if you don't keep hunting, at least you have that perspective and have that. But I love what you're doing out there, man, because we need more people like that who are willing to engage with people who would not necessarily do so, and help the ones that are curious of it
Oh
because
yeah.
it's so important to keep it going. I mean, it is who we are.
Oh yeah.
So,
And I'm looking at my mentoring now as practice because I have four nephews coming up. They're not old enough to hunt yet, but once they are, if they're interested, I'll be I'll be a mentor to them, and I'm looking forward to it.
oh yeah, I mean that's half the fun right there, being
Oh
able
yeah.
to
Oh
uh,
yeah.
pass push it forward like you're doing and passing it on. And I mean, you're also out there volunteering with the Game Commission and then the Rough Grouse Society.
Yep.
Um, what are you doing out there with them? I mean, you've been able to do some tree planting stuff like that, help with the
So
habitat.
yeah, we did some tree planting up on the Blue Mountain, the one that I mentioned earlier. They went. I think they did some timbering, and there was I forget the acreage. It was a couple acres, but they wanted to plant grouse, grouse cover, grouse food, that kind of stuff. So we planted. It was a either a either pitch pines or loblolly pines, and that's the only tree that I remember. It was, and there were a couple other ones. There were berry bushes. we might have even planted some dogwood trees, but it was all everything that we planted was either good grouse habitat or grouse food.
It's awesome.
So we did that, um, did tours of their previous projects, then went back on my own during grouse season with the shotgun to do my own tour. Didn't have any luck, but uh, I like what I see though. It's the habitat's definitely there. The birds just need to show up.
Just make their way back, man. That's good. I mean, it's good to see that they have something set in place, being able to work for the future, have volunteers like you, yourself, have guys who are hunting these birds out there, helping with the
Well,
habitat and the
it
structure
gets
of it.
it gets people invested. I mean,
Right,
I spent I don't know how many hours planting those trees, so I had time invested in it, and now
right.
I'm going back. I'm not going back to that plot because the access is it's hard to get to without a vehicle, and there's a road to it, but it's closed most of the year. But I'm still going back, still hunting grouse, and a big part of it was volunteering and doing those things with the Game Commission, the Grouse Society. It made me feel like I was part of it, and it wasn't just me traipsing around the woods with a shotgun. Like I had a hand in helping these birds come back to some kind of population. There's a population here now, but not not what I want to see. I'm sure not what the grouse biologist with the state wants to see, and countless other grouse hunters. But it's a start, and you got to start somewhere. So, and like I said probably 1,000 times already, I'm liking what I see, and not just with the grouse habitat, just the way the game commission has been managing their lands for all kinds of critters. It's really good. The past 10, 15 years, they've they've impressed me quite a bit.
That's good. That's good to hear because I mean, good to have that establishment looking for the future, and I mean, it's a big deal having a guy like you out there. I mean, a lot of the time we sit back and look at things and we're like, oh, we can't make a difference. We can't do anything about it. But I mean, you're a perfect example of doing just that, going out there and making a difference
And
and
I gotta
pushing
give
it.
I gotta give credit where credit's due. My my wife played a hand in me with the volunteer work. She didn't force me to do it, nothing like that. But she volunteers her time for her job occasionally, and she has a bunch of volunteers doing the same thing for her. So that was inspiration, motivation, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I got my hats off to her. She
Yeah,
she really inspired me to again pay it forward. Just this time it was to the state and the Grouse Society, but I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
wow, that's awesome, man. Being able to have that, have a good wife out there supporting you, I feel that too. they keep us, they keep us on the fine line there.
One, and she would be a good example of someone. She doesn't hunt. I've offered a couple times, but not interested, which is fine. But when we got together, she didn't understand the whole hunting thing, and where she came from and her family and friends. Nobody hunted. The only person that she knew that did was her grandfather. So hunting to her was, rednecks out in the woods in camouflage, shooting anything that moves. And I've run across guys like that, so not completely unfounded, but over the time we've been together, She's got a completely different view of hunting and hunters. She actually went with me back in November. I was scouting out some deer spots for the upcoming rifle season, and I said to her, I was like, I got an orange hat and orange vest for you, and I'm bringing the shotgun. I'll bring the 20 gauge. It's not nearly as loud, and I don't really intend on shooting anything. And where we were going, they stock it with pheasants, but my grandparents live in that area, and I used to ride my bike through there all the time, going down to the lake to fish. And I can count on one hand the amount of pheasants I saw when I was a kid in my teens and all that. So I told her, I was like, we're not going to see anything. I'm just taking you and the gun for a walk. First field, within the first 5 minutes, I kicked up a ring neck and got him. And my wife she was over the moon. She's like, I can see what the appeal to this is.
That's
She got to
awesome.
hear the bird, take off and cackle, the wing beats and all that. And then I made a really good shot. But yeah, she has come around on it in a lot of ways, and probably the only vegetarian I know that will eat venison and grouse and dove and pheasant. Yeah.
That's awesome. That it's a process. I mean, Rachel over here, my wife's kind of in the same situation. Her dad did a little bit growing up. Her grandparents a little bit, but besides that, she's never hunted. None of her siblings had. Never grew up with it, but she's had a few opportunities. She's thinking about a turkey this year, possibly, and we're working on that. And but she's been able to take a few pheasants and grouse. Her first bird was a ruffed grouse actually
Oh
back
my!
in 2025. So exciting.
Congratulations.
So I definitely get that. It's a process. It really comes down to understanding and education of it, and
Oh yeah,
like you
yeah.
just kind of working it because, like I said, you don't have to hunt at the end of the day, but respecting it, understanding it, and having that perspective is a huge asset in today's world. So um, it's been a lot of fun working with that. So no, man, but this has been a lot of fun being able to have you on the podcast and you sharing your side of what you're doing over there in Pennsylvania in your neck of the woods. And I commend you and appreciate your time and what you're doing out there. It's pretty cool. But before we close, I always ask the same question to every single one of our guests, and that's: do you have any advice that you would give to any new upcoming hunters or any hunters who are already in the tradition?
So for this is for everybody. Go hunt whatever way you want to, as long as it's legal in your state. Hunt whatever you want. Just do it safely. That's always my number one thing. Just have fun, but do it safely. And for the people that are new to the sport, and this is just me speaking personally. As far as hunting goes, take what you see on social media with not just a grain of salt, but like a pound of it. There's a lot of BS on social media with hunting. It can lead you into, and again speaking personally, into this wild game of comparison where you're never gonna win because those guys on Instagram and whatever, they're gonna get what they're after every time. That's not how hunting works. I've seen it too many times. Guys, they make themselves look like Mr. Mountain Man, and they're shooting these big deer or whatever they're after, only to come to find out that they're shooting them over bait in a high fence ranch. So yeah, don't compare yourself to people on social media. It's a losing battle. Go out there and have fun. Try to learn something. And if you don't get what you're after, it's still a bad day of hunting is better than any day at work. So just bear that in mind.
That's definitely true. I couldn't say it better myself. Safety's number one out of everything. I mean, if we want to keep on hunting, we got to be safe out there, and it's the number one it's the number one rule out there. And then, like you said, no comparisons. We're just out there trying to have fun, enjoying what we do,
Yep.
and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
But well, thank you so much, man, for coming on and sharing your time and your story with us. It's
Yeah, of
been a lot
course.
of
Thanks
fun.
for having me.
Of course. Thank you again, everyone, for listening to the Bird Camp Radio podcast. I hope you enjoyed episode 28 of the podcast. But as you know, before we go and end it, we need to release Steven's time on the rapid fire around the campfire game. Steven mixed it up a little bit, everybody, and his time was 35.87 seconds, which really shifts some things around. That now puts Steven in third place. So our new leaderboard of the top three is Emmanuel Rose still at 31.59 in first place, Tanner Cruson at 35.52 in second place, and then Steven at 35.87 in third place. Good job on mixing it up on this episode. But as you know, everybody, you can find us, Bird Camp Radio, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. We also are now found on YouTube, where you'll be able to view this episode and be able to see us this time. So that's a first. As well, we do have a website for Bird Camp Radio where you can visit and see everything on the platform. That way, all these things will be in the bio of Bird Camp Radio or in the comments with the links below in those comments. So if you need to find it there. If you can't find it there, you can come to me, message me personally, and I can help you out with that. So we're excited to be able to have that in place and bring a little bit more excitement to the Bird Camp Radio podcast. Thanks again, everyone, and stay tuned for next week. We'll see you next week. You've been listening to Bird Camp Radio, where the high pines, marsh valleys, sagebrush seas, and shelf rock ledges always call us back. Until next time, keep your dogs close, your shot true, and your campfire stories ready to share. We'll see you back at camp. Don't miss out on the next episode where we'll host our next guest on the podcast. You don't want to miss this one. Thank you.